Time to get Southern fried. Let's do it. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook. Good evening. It is me, JD Wyatt of Southern Fried Sports. I am your Southern Fried gentleman. Scream it from the rooftops, baby. Coming to you live. I know that y'all can see the screen like all up in my eyes. We'll work on that lighting. We'll take care of that. But anyways, it is time to get Southern fried. And Gamecock Richard already here. Let me get this comment in here. I'm just here so I don't get fined. No, nobody's going to fine you, but I appreciate you being here, brother. So listen, we are jam-packed, full of sports talk this evening. I have a new format. I have new partners. Thank you to GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, TheFurmanJoust.com, and thank you to DaFangirls.com, DaFangirls. Yes, your boy can still spell. I'll be doggone. Jamie Johnson, thank you for being here. Listen, y'all, let's get into the Southern Fried Sports appetizers. I said it was going to be a new format, and here you are. We are going to get into the Southern Fried Sports appetizers. This is where I kind of wet your whistle just a little bit about a few sports takes here and there. So let's start off with Gamecock fans. Hey there, Spencer Rattler getting his first start for the New Orleans Saints this week. And now, granted, I wonder if somebody maybe told you guys this months ago, that he would, in fact, get his first start about week 6 or so. And I didn't think it would be because the Saints were having a bad season. I didn't think it would be because the Saints were firing Dennis Allen or any of that stuff. I thought that it would be because Derek Carr possibly would have an injury. But what's really interesting about it is that Spencer Rattler was actually listed as the number 3 quarterback. He wasn't even the backup. 3. Facebook, YouTube. 3. And so it was really interesting to see what Saints fans thought about Haener versus Rattler. Rattler obviously had the very good, preseason. And did anybody expect him not to be a good quarterback? I mean, he's always had the arm talent. Granted, he wasn't very fast, but he did have some escapability to him. And so I think that, of course, Spencer Rattler was going to get a shot. Now, would I have rather him gone to the Falcons, per se, and still possibly be sitting and not having to start just yet? But starting week 1, like a lot of these rookies do, Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, I mean, you name them, Trevor Lawrence even. There's some that turn out to be okay, but then there's some that don't. And then we've seen Sam Darnold and Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield. We've seen a lot of these guys have to go further into their career to revive themselves. And so just huge shout out, though, to Spencer Rattler for finally getting the start. Not finally, excuse me. For getting the start. Not finally. I can't say finally. I can say finally about this, though. He is the first Gamecock quarterback to make a start in the NFL since finally Connor Shaw. Back in 2014, I believe it was. I tasked Rowdy Rooster a little bit ago. Anytime I searched Gamecock quarterback starting in the NFL, everything was Spencer Rattler. I even tried to go back and say, who are the Gamecock quarterbacks to start in the NFL? And everything still came up Spencer Rattler. So I was pretty sure it was Connor Shaw. I wanted to confirm that. And my man, Rowdy Rooster, did in fact do that. And so Gamecocks have not had a good run of quarterbacks in the NFL. But Spencer Rattler, I think you can do it. I think you've got the weapons. You showed in the preseason that you can be a daggum good quarterback. So, sir, you go do that. You go be blessed, not stressed, and just enjoy it, man. And don't let any Oklahoma Sooners fan claim you. You got a Gamecock tattoo, bro. Right here. You got a Gamecock tattoo. Do not let the Oklahoma Sooners claim you in any way. And then for more Southern Fried Sports appetizers, let's get to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Holy smokes. All of the series got tied 1-1. And I was like, man, this is going to be epic. And the Dodgers, though, facing elimination, down 2-1, pitched a bullpen game. And not only did they pitch a bullpen game, they used 8 different pitchers. Huh? If I told you that a team used 8 different pitchers, you would tell me they got blown out. Would you not? You would tell me that they got blown out. I don't care. But the Dodgers somehow managed to pitch 8 pitchers and pitch a shutout. We can't even have one pitcher half the time pitch a no-hitter. We can't even have like 2 or 3 sometimes go for a complete game, no shutout, 6 innings, 2 innings, 1 inning. Like, very rarely does this happen. And then lo and behold, the Dodgers stave off elimination by pitching 8 different pitchers and getting the shutout. Wow. That is absolutely absurd to me. The whole MLB playoffs have been absurd to me, but you know what else is absurd? Did y'all see the video of Manny Machado launching a ball into the dugout and this whole riffraff? And the Padres, I think a few of the players kind of boycotted a reporter for asking questions about it. That was a wild situation. And Dave Roberts, obviously, he felt like the ball was, launched at him. And then the Dodgers, man, they came out and did something about it. They won 8-0. So they are in an elimination game. You got the Tigers and the Guardians. The Tigers have been the best team in baseball in the second half. Should the MLB at this point go ahead and expand the playoffs by one more team, y'all? Because I feel like having that first round bye, that first round, 5 games off, we've seen the Braves go through it. We just saw the Phillies go through it. Dodgers are about to go through it. The Yankees potentially. The Guardians, not to mention the Orioles and everybody else. I mean, all of these teams are starting to feel the wrath of being that number 1 team. So what matters more, rest or momentum? I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. Let's see here. That is about wrapping up our appetizers for this evening here on Southern Fried Sports. We've got my man, Gamecock Richard. I mentioned his comment. He said he was here so he don't get fined. Rowdy Rooster is here because he is my statistician. He is the one that actually confirmed that Connor Shaw did, in fact, start the last NFL game by a Gamecock quarterback up until this Sunday when Spencer Rattler does. And let's see what Rowdy Rooster says here about Rattler. Rattler is in a good spot with the Saints. They have a team around him, much like Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud. His arm talent and their lack of the line protection falls in Rattler's favor. I completely agree. Listen, there's tons of Gamecock fans already this weekend, Rowdy Rooster. They already said they are taking Spencer Rattler as their fantasy quarterback. I've got Olave on my fantasy team. He hadn't done nothing for me. I think he and Spencer Rattler, they will have a dynamic connection come this Sunday. And let's get into some of our Southern Fried Sports entrees, if you will. That's right. JD Wyatt also partnered up with GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. Y'all make sure to go give that website a click. There are plenty of podcasters, sports, opinions, whatever you can imagine on that website. And don't forget to like and share this episode. Go to my YouTube stream if you're on Facebook. Hit my YouTube channel with a subscribe. The drawing is coming up soon. We hit that mark, 85 subscribers. So that drawing for a $25 gift card is coming up very soon. So, Southern Fried Sports entrees this evening. I got one I got to get off my chest. And this one's going to be quick because I know a lot of people don't care. But we all know that the Lakers drafted Bronny James. And we all know they got LeBron James. And LeBron James decided that he wanted to complain about flying 19,000 miles to Milwaukee to play one preseason game. Well, LeBron, you're LeBron. So if you didn't want to make that flight, I'm sure you probably didn't have to. I mean, you get to sit out. You're the one that just said you were mad the other day about the new MVP rules or the new award rule that says you have to play a certain amount of games. So what you worried about a preseason game for? I mean, would you rather drive there on bus? Would you rather walk from Los Angeles to Milwaukee, LeBron? Miss me with that crap. You complaining about flying. First class, I'm sure. I'm sure you can get your feet up. You can get a little feet rub. You can get a little cryotherapy. Like, what are we even talking about, LeBron? Do you not see all of the hurricane stuff? Since you all the way out there in Los Angeles? You don't see that people... Shoot, I guarantee you I know a couple people that would much rather be flying on an airplane somewhere rather than where they are right now. So, miss me with that. And then miss me with the whole... I'm so sick of my NFL and my MLB updates getting taken over by Bronny James stuff. This executive said Bronny James isn't going to be good. This executive said Bronny James has the chance to be great. This executive says that Bronny James is getting rushed along too quickly. I told y'all that. The man is 1 year removed from a heart attack. He has no business playing basketball at the level that he is. I mean, we saw his stats at USC. We saw his stats the other night. Everybody said, oh, LeBron and his son, they have the best father-son statistics ever. The only thing that Bronny James contributed to it was one rebound, y'all. One rebound. The rest was like 19 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But the only thing that Bronny James contributed was one rebound. And so this is my question, though, y'all. Is LeBron's hairline or his bloodline going to be his biggest downfall? You know, I like to phrase everything as questions here on Southern Fried Sports. So, do y'all think he'll go bald before he is out of the league, or do you think he'll go bald before Bronny is out of the league? Because I don't know at this point, y'all. I really don't. I'm not a basketball expert. I will not pretend to be. I'm a huge LeBron fan. I hate that we've come to all this negative talk about him. Rowdy Rooster, LeBaby Bron is a diva. No arguments here. Let's see. We got Jamie Johnson, my man in the house. All the money he has, I would never go bald. Hey, well, you know, he did almost go bald, and then all of a sudden his hair showed back up later on. We'll go back to that one later. I've got more Southern Fried Sports entrees to get to. Let's see here. Rowdy Rooster. Nah, he will get hair plugs. I'm pretty sure he already did, bro. I am pretty sure he already did. I got my man Johnny Doughton over here on Facebook. He says, don't get me started on Bronny, JD. Which also, hey, Johnny, I didn't realize that the Dough in your name meant that you were a baker. But I see you over there baking that bread, bro. And we over here trying to break bread. That's all we do here on Southern Fried Sports. We break bread. I'm here to unify the people. I'm the Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports. And we got bread to go with appetizers, bread to go with entrees. Let's see what else we can fry up this evening. Here's my next question. Do y'all really think that Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with Robert Saleh getting fired? Really? Do y'all really believe that for one moment? It was said that Aaron Rodgers and the owner of the New York Jets, Woody, had a meeting Monday night, and Robert Saleh was fired on Tuesday. And I think they tried to save face by saying that Aaron Rodgers was a bit upset about Saleh possibly demoting Nathaniel Hackett. Huge failure with the Broncos. Good friend of Aaron Rodgers. Offense coordinator for him in Green Bay. He got the job in Denver. Everybody thought Aaron Rodgers was going to go to Denver. They ended up together, though, in New York. And, Nathaniel Hackett. And so it was said, though, that Aaron Rodgers was a bit upset about that. And so he had nothing to do, though, with Robert Saleh getting fired. However, since then, the defensive coordinator has been named the interim head coach, Erdrick, I think his name is. Erdrick. I don't know. Words are hard. You know that. I say that all the time. But I just find it very hard to believe that Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with it. I think they went to Aaron Rodgers and they said, what do you need to win? And I think he maybe told him. But he vehemently denied all of these allegations on the Pat McAfee show and said that they are all patently false. Rowdy Rooster, I see you over here. I'll get you in just a moment. But that also brings me to my next question. So Robert Saleh, I think, was the fourth best odds of a coach to be fired going into this year, starting the year. And so that's my next question to you guys. Who is the next NFL coach to be fired this year? I could see Doug Peterson in Jacksonville as a very good candidate. I could also say that Brian Daboll of the New York Giants is probably up there as well. You have, of course, Antonio Pierce for the Oakland Raiders. I don't know, the Eagles, They seem to be saving face right now, so Nick Sirianni might be okay, but Nick Sirianni comes to my mind. Eberflus in Chicago. I honestly don't know why the Bears gave Eberflus Justin Fields, a rookie quarterback, and he ruined him. And so Eberflus probably should have been fired. They probably should have scrapped it. They probably should have started fresh with Caleb Williams. But the Bears, for some reason, are given the chance to Eberflus to not ruin not one rookie quarterback, but two. I mean, at least for the Panthers, we had Frank Reich try to ruin Bryce Young at first, to now, Dave Canales not being able to help him. So at least Bryce Young can say, hey, at least I tried for two different coaches. I don't know. And maybe Bryce Young's time isn't done yet for the Panthers. But that's my question to you guys, though. Who is the next NFL head coach to be fired? You could possibly look to the Colts. Obviously, the Jaguars with Doug Peterson. The Giants, like I mentioned, Brian Daboll. We can't go Lions, Packers. Maybe the Titans. Maybe the Titans are regretting Callahan as their head coach. That he might be a candidate. Maybe the Colts head coach is a candidate. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Let's get back here. Let's see here. We've got Rowdy Rooster, my man. He says Aaron Rodgers is a coach killer. I don't know if I could say that, man. I mean, he played well with McCarthy for years, and he had a good couple of years there with LaFleur. I think Aaron Rodgers isn't as good a quarterback as everybody thinks he is. Yeah, he's got arm talent. He's got accuracy. He had escapability. But he's only got one Super Bowl. He lost 3 straight NFC Championship games at home. At home. So I don't know if I can call A-Rod a coach killer. They did demote Hackett today. Yep. The interim coach did. Yep, I said that. The Cleveland Browns coach or Panthers coach. See, I don't think Cleveland can fire their coach because of the ridiculous contract they gave to Deshaun Watson. And he hasn't been near what he was supposed to be. Jamie Johnson says Jaguars or Browns. I'm not penalizing the Browns over a dumb quarterback contract. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Kevin Stefanski has shown with Joe Flacco last year, he can win. He can win with quarterbacks. But when you've got Deshaun, who has sat out the majority of every year for, 3 years now, he's barely played. I think he is a shell of himself. I even referenced that about Juice Wells from Ole Miss, formerly of South Carolina Gamecocks, playing us this weekend. He looked rusty. He looked rusty. He did. He looked rusty. And when you sit out of football for a long time, just like I was mentioning with the MLB playoff games, when you have days off and when you're not always playing that same competition, it makes it very difficult once you get into a game situation. But what do I know? I don't know sports, y'all. I don't know sports. I'm just kidding around. I don't know nothing about nothing. And then let's not forget, though, we've got the NFL matchup tonight. 49ers and the Seahawks. 49ers. I did not see y'all sitting at 2-3 right now. Y'all do not look the way that I thought you guys would look. I know y'all have had injuries. But with Kyle Shanahan, this has always been a dynamic offense. They've always won in the regular season, regardless of Kyle Shanahan's record in the postseason. And so maybe is Brock Purdy not who we thought he was going to be? Because he was the next one in line to get one of these stupid $40 million, $50 million contracts. So, I mean, are the 49ers hesitant now on giving that to Brock Purdy? Brandon Ayuk just paid him. Just paid him. He's on my fantasy team. He's been garbage. Garbage. So, I mean, make sure you read the fine print, ladies and gentlemen, before you sign anybody to a very large contract. Rowdy Rooster. Nobody is saying Mike McCarthy, but his seat is warm. If he can't get over the hump, Jerry may let him go due to Jerry's age and wanting a chip so bad. That's very true. That was one I did not mention was Mike McCarthy. I honestly thought he was going to be gone last year. But with back-to-back, 12-win seasons, playoff berths, it's very hard to fire a guy over that. But the Atlanta Braves are the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL. So many division titles, not enough World Series to show for it. The Cowboys are the Braves of the NFL. So many division titles and not enough Super Bowls to show for it. Fantastic franchises, known for nothing but winning. But at the end of the day, you got to win a championship. Eventually. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, is it a curse? I don't believe in curses. There might be a few witches out there watching. Hey, I didn't say that. Never mind. I believe in curses. I believe in curses. Let's see here what we can finish up with on Southern Fried Sports entrees this evening. College football. Huge weekend upcoming. Holy smokes. And I got a few stats. And so this one's going to be pretty quick. I might come back to this one after I take a small break here in a moment. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's do that. Let me give you the matchups. Let me get y'all's comments on them. I'll take a quick little break. And then we will come back and I will finish up entrees and Southern Fried Sports desserts. Southern Fried gentlemen. So we have Ohio State and Oregon, number 2 versus number 3 this week. Texas and Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Red River shootout is a lot easier to say. Now I understand why everybody made that such a big deal earlier in the week. The Red River rivalry. Texas and Oklahoma. Red River shootout. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. We got Colorado with a chance to go 5-1 by beating a ranked Kansas State team. We've got Florida, Tennessee. We've got Clemson and Wake Forest. We've got Ole Miss and LSU in the Who Beat the Gamecocks Bowl this weekend. And then speaking of Gamecocks, we've got Gamecocks versus Bama. I have many questions about all of these matchups. Y'all give me just a moment. I'll be right back. Bang, bang. We are back. Oh, my bad. We had a little hiccup there. Here I am. I accidentally erased myself from the stream. Let's see here. Brett Venables gets his signature win this weekend. You heard it here first from Jamie Johnson on YouTube. I don't hate it. I do not hate that pick. You want to know why? Because that's exactly the stats that I had coming up for you right now. The number one team, the number one team for the past 2 weeks has lost their game. They were also teams that we didn't think would lose. Georgia, we didn't think they would lose. Alabama beat them. And then once Alabama beat Georgia, we were like, oh, no way anybody's going to beat Alabama. And then Vanderbilt beat Alabama. And so, Rowdy Rooster, I see your comment, though. No way Texas is going to drag OU. So no way that Texas loses. They are going to drag Oklahoma. I said the same thing in the Vanderbilt game. I said there's no way that Alabama's going to lose this game. Even when Vanderbilt had like a 75% chance of winning this game late in the third and fourth quarter. I said there's no chance. But the SEC is different this year. It is different. Anybody, Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina over Kentucky, Kentucky over Ole Miss. The Ole Miss LSU game, I think those might be the two teams that are like right there in the middle. And so I think that might be the best game, though, to actually give a good barometer of what is the SEC. Rowdy Rooster says horns down all the way, flag, 15 yards, personal foul, taunting, move it back. I hope the Ducks get it done, says Jamie Johnson. Rowdy Rooster says there is way more parity in the SEC this year. And that's the other point I wanted to mention. I did say I had stats. So that was the other stat I wanted to get to. Do y'all realize that the number 10 team in the country has already lost 5 times this year? The number 10 team in the country. Yes, it was Michigan twice. So twice has Michigan been ranked number 10 in the country and lose this year. The other one is USC. The other one is Utah State, maybe? It might have been Utah. Utah lost to Arizona. I think they were ranked number 10. And then USC was the other one. Guess who is ranked number 10 this week, ladies and gentlemen? Clemson Tigers. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose to Wake Forest. However, I am telling you to be extremely careful. Okay? I'm just saying. I mean, stats are stats. All right? Stats are stats. The number 1 team, though, has lost back-to-back weeks. The number 10 team has lost 5 times already this year. In 2007, the number 2 team was the one that had the curse. They lost 7 times. The number 2 team ranked in the country in 2007. All different teams, obviously not the same number 2 team. So beware, Clemson. And then my other question was going to be, is there any chance, though, that Alabama and Tennessee get upset in back-to-back weeks? Alabama being at home, Tennessee being at home against Florida, Alabama obviously being at home against my Gamecocks. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll be watching. I'll be rooting. Lenora Sellers, put the goggles back on. You were 2-0 with them, 0-2 without them. Put them back on. I'm a superstitious guy. I'm a baseball player. Do it. I don't care. Do whatever it takes to end a losing streak. And then how about Dowell Loggins while I'm on Gamecock football? He said, oh, but we crossed the 50-yard line 7 times. Bro, you got it on the 40 like 3 times. So what, y'all gained like 10 yards? Also, here's a stat. The Gamecocks have had 44 negative plays already this year. Do you want to know what that is percentage-wise? 14%. Every single one of us would be fired if we had such a fail rate. Period. I don't care what your job is. If you had a 14% negative rate, you would get fired. So what in the heck is going on there? 44 plays. What do we say to be successful all the time? Stay ahead of the chains. Gain positive yards. And I'm not even talking about, that doesn't even include the plays that they gain 0 yards. Okay? So the percentage of them gaining 0 versus and negative yards is probably something like 30%. What are we paying you for? What are we paying you for? To move the ball down the field. I don't pay you to get 0 and negative yards. If you were a salesperson, you would have been fired already with that kind of rate. Think about that. Here, this is the equivalent, okay? Here's the comparison. Think about this. So, say, for example, you sell, I don't know, cable internet. And every time you went to somebody's house to sell them cable or internet, they said, nah, you owe me $10. I ain't buying what you got, but you owe me $10 now. That is what's going on. Right? I mean, am I right? Am I wrong? So, like, yeah, like, man, I've got this great product for sale out here. And they're like, nah, you wasted 10 minutes of my day. You owe me $10. You can't operate a business that way. So, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's see here. We got Rowdy Rooster. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get back. Let me go back. I got a few other ones. Let's see. Rowdy Rooster says, yeah, I want to hold up a big O, but Ohio State's record against the Ducks say otherwise. Oregon has not looked as good as I thought they would this year. They haven't. I thought Oregon was going to be dynamic. Obviously, Dan Lanning. Hey, that's one other thing I've told you before. I thought Dan Lanning was going to be the new Kirby Smart, and Kirby Smart was going to maybe be the new Nick Saban. But that ain't working out very well for me right now. We've got Jamie Johnson. I think the University of Florida has a better chance at the upset. Yeah, absolutely. I have no reason to believe in the Gamecocks at this point, brother. Rowdy Rooster, Wake Forest has given up 104 points in the last 4 games. Hey, perfect time to call Connor Stallions. Maybe he can help him out a little bit. Rowdy Rooster, Beamer's biggest issue is he wants to be a friend too much. If you want to win, you got to axe some people in the process. Well, he did. He did just axe a dude. He did just axe dude. He said he wanted to go ahead and do his red shirt after the Ole Miss game. And Beamer said, nah, you can leave the program, son. All righty, y'all. We've got one more segment. Man, we're at 41 minutes. Yes, I've got more stuff to cover. Let's get our Southern Fried Sports desserts in. JD is going to get out of here. Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. But see, Rowdy Rooster, yeah, right. But to me, you got to have the same attitude either way. Rowdy Rooster says he was talking about coaches, not players. Beamer's been real quick to give the boot to players. Why do coaches get special treatment? The players are the one out there making the plays. Here's an argument somebody had the other week. Is human resources for the company or is it for the employee? And my wife's uncle, who is a human resources extraordinaire, I will not call his name, he said that human resources should be there for the employee. And so that's exactly the comparison I'll make right here. Shane Beamer should be for the players, not the coaches. The coaches are freaking adults. Yeah, we can, if a kid makes a mistake or a player makes a mistake, I'm all good with that. You can talk to him, you can coach him up. But coaches should not be above all and be all. The head coach should be able to coach them in the same way. And if he can't, then they don't need to be on the staff, in my opinion. But good comment. Good conversation, everybody. Rowdy Rooster, Doughton, Tara, thank you for joining me. Christopher Thacker, thank you for joining me. Jamie Johnson, Rowdy, man, MWD Graphics for my intro video. Greenville Sports Media, the Furman Joust, everything else. All right, so let's go watch Thursday Night Football if you have Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can't watch Thursday Night Football. But let's get these desserts in. Let's rock and roll. How about another Georgia player was arrested? Colby Young, battery and assault of an unborn child. We want to talk about a culture problem. I mentioned this the other night on my show, and I think on the radio station maybe. Somebody tried to say the Gamecocks had a culture problem. No, Georgia has a culture problem because they can't seem to follow the freaking law. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. what's going on at Georgia. Yay, the transfer portal window was shortened. As if the length of the transfer portal window was the problem. Was that the problem? No, because the transfer portal isn't even open now. Yet you got people saying, I'm going to exercise my red shirt and enter into the portal. So until somebody gets a grasp on all of these rules, it makes no difference if the transfer portal is open for 8 days, 12 days, 26 days. It doesn't matter because there are rules in place that allow them to circumvent the rules. High school football. Y'all, man, I miss some high school football. I know we had Hurricane Helene, the South Carolina High School League. They almost didn't do the right thing. They did end up doing the right thing. So they expanded the championship week by 1 week. They're going to try to get all of these games in. South Carolina high school football. It is such a huge thing here in South Carolina. These players deserve tons more respect and tons more eyeballs than what they get. So if you get a chance, if you live near a high school, make sure to go check out a game. Make it a point to learn some of those players. Because in Clinton, we've got players going to Anderson University, Cincinnati, Coastal. I'm sure Woodruff, Rowdy Rooster. I'm sure y'all got people going places. Y'all make it a point to get out, support some high school football if you can. Let me get in a few more comments. Let's see here. Rowdy Rooster. Bad look on the university, and it shows that Kirby only cares about stars, not character. I've made that joke before. Kirby Smart tried to be like, yeah, I don't see Clemson on the recruiting trail very much. Well, that's because Clemson isn't recruiting the Clark County Jail, sir. Next. Rowdy Rooster. I don't see Mark Ryan tweeting about Georgia's culture. Nope. Nope. The Angry Birds. Mark Ryan doesn't answer to Angry Birds. Every once in a while, I can get him to respond to something I say. Maybe. But it's not very often. Not very often. There's actually a very funny interaction between him and one of his coworkers on Twitter or X. I will have to share that with you. But while I'm mentioning Twitter or X, make sure, like I said, make sure to hit the like button on the YouTube episode. Add me as a friend on Facebook. I have new website links coming. I have a new Facebook page coming, new X page coming. Plenty of guests. The Hurricanes kind of thrown off a lot of the guests. So we've got tons of guests coming. Let me get Rowdy Rooster's last comment in. What's going to happen is eventually players are going to be in contract as an employee. Something like an NFL model approach. Yep. Especially if the courts let the schools pay directly. Excuse me. There's already... Listen, the SEC and the Big Ten are... I won't say that they're in bed together just yet, but they're in the same hotel room. Let's just say that. The SEC and the Big Ten, they're not in bed together, but they're in the same hotel room currently. So they've met down in the lobby. They've had their few little drinks. They are, making their way up the elevator. They're maybe turning on the TV. They're getting comfortable with one another. They're not necessarily in bed with one another yet, but that is certainly what all signs are pointing towards. And so, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's a jam-packed episode of Southern Fried Sports. This is the longest one yet, and I'm going to leave you guys with this one. I'm going to make you hungry. We're going to go watch NFL football. So this whole thing happened on Twitter that people are canceling people over food takes. All right, somebody said raisins belong in mac and cheese. Ew. Somebody said that bacon ruins a cheeseburger. What? Bacon doesn't ruin anything, first of all. I mean, there have been the wildest food takes ever. And so I want y'all to leave your comments on this site or after my show. Y'all tell me, what food take will get you canceled? Cole Bryson, I see you watching right now. I'm not going to call you out. Good to see you, my friend. But I do know of a person that eats Lay's potato chips dipped in ketchup. It might be my son. My son might be the one that does that. All right. I got one little boy. All he'll eat is a freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with this one. My food take is tomatoes ruin an absolutely perfect bacon and lettuce sandwich. BLT, no. Just give me the B and the L. All right. So tomatoes ruin a perfectly good bacon and lettuce sandwich. I had Ray Watts. He said mayo ruins everything. I mean, let's see. I feel like there was some more. Rowdy Rooster said he was going to unfriend me over the tomatoes thing. But y'all, like I said, it's been a jam-packed episode of Southern Fried Sports. So Cole and I, we're going to do a chili cook-off. It takes beans to make it an entree. If there's no beans, it's a condiment. God, I've been all over the place tonight, y'all. As I say, though, be blessed, not stressed. Let's go watch some football. I will see y'all on another day. There's no chance the Gamecocks upset the Crimson Tide this week. And there's no chance that Florida upsets Tennessee this week. But Oklahoma over Texas or Wake Forest over Clemson, like I said, the number 10 team has already lost 5 times this year. So beware, Clemson. We'll see y'all soon. JD Wyatt, your Southern Fried Gentleman. GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. TheFurmanJoust.com. TheFangirls.com. And I'm out.